How dare you, Dominic? How dare you? Reviewing PlayStation consoles on Xbox here? That is absolutely offensive. I'm going to get on the internet right now. I'm going to tell Phil this. Because he needs to know that some irrelevant YouTuber who's got under 600 subscribers is reviewing a PlayStation console on Xbox Day. It's absolutely offensive. You don't care? Dominic Trophy, you're a Sony pony. You're a Sony pony now. I want you to get rid of all your Xbox consoles because you're not a true gamer. If you're making fun of Xbox by reviewing a PlayStation console on Xbox Day, you did the same exact thing when you reviewed the PS3 on Xbox One X Day when it launched. Don't you remember? I do. I remember. How dare you make fun of Xbox by reviewing our enemy on our birthday, launch day? This is absolutely offensive. I'm going to tell Phil off. I'm going to tell Phil now because you were making fun of Xbox. This is not fair. I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to tell him this absolute awful news. Screw you, Dominic. Sony pony. Sony pony. Keep playing your Ratchet and Clank and your knack. Crap games. Xbox don't deserve. Keep playing him. I'm watching you. Okay, I think the Xbox fanboys still hate me. I really don't know why. I really don't, but if they want to hate me, they can hate me. Anyway, hello all, Dominic Trophy here again. Welcome back to another video. I hope everyone's doing well, by the way, and I hope you're having a good week so far. So today, I'm actually going to be doing my review of the Sony PSP Go. Obviously, I did mention this, 2 weeks ago, but obviously due to the way I was feeling with COVID and everything, I obviously wasn't in the right mindset, but I always wanted to make this video once I came back to make new videos, so hope you enjoy it. So, obviously, like I just said, I'll be reviewing the PSP Go. Now, it might glare on screen, so I might actually not put it close to the screen, because obviously, with the glare and everything in the camera, so sorry. But I'll try and do my best anyway, so yeah. So, obviously, as you can see, the Sony PSP Go, and I really love the look of this handheld. I think it's absolutely, phenomenal. I think the look of it is nice. Very sleek as well. And definitely very small compared to the other PSP models. Now, obviously, the big difference with this is that it's a digital-only version of the PSP Go. So because of that, you cannot use any UMDs on it. But I'll get back to that later. So obviously the look of it, obviously you got the screen and everything, and you've got a PlayStation button here, which obviously if you're in game, if you're playing a game or whatever, obviously you can go back and to the cross media bar menu. There are 2 speakers on each side, here and here. Obviously underneath you've got all the controls and everything. So you've got the D-pad, or that's what I usually call it. I know it's not a D-pad exactly, but that's what I call it, so I do. You've got a thumbstick here, you've got start and select, and you've also got the regular triangle, circle, cross, and square buttons. On the top of it, top of it, sorry. I think it's just the design of it, just sort of puts you off, so it does, but... on the top of it, you've got L and R triggers, which... pardon me, which feel good, so they do. You've also got a volume button, and you've also got a music button, and another button at the top as well, if you can see that. On the side of it, you've got a wireless button, obviously, if you want to connect to the internet or whatever, or connect to Wi-Fi, which obviously the PSP doesn't do anymore. But also, for example, if you're playing single player, multiplayer with someone else, that's also usable as well. So yeah, and you've also got a little slot for an M2 card here as well. So M2 there. On the bottom, you've got a headphone jack, and you've got a port to power the handheld as well. And that is it for buttons. So it is. Oh, and you've also got a power button on the side as well. So there as well. So like I said, very nice, I think, very stylish. Holding it and using it, I love it, so I do. When I first got it, because I got it about a month and a half ago, it did take me quite some time to get used to it, because it just felt weird in the hands. But once I got used to playing it, it felt good, so yeah. Like I said, buttons, everything, feel nice, so they do. And I like that, so I do, so. PSP Go. Obviously, I do have my other PSP Go, obviously, to show off, obviously, as well. So, yeah. So, my experience of the PSP Go actually goes back to 2009, when it was first announced. Now, I never actually owned the PSP Go back in the day, but I do remember when it was announced. And my thoughts about it was, I loved it. I loved the design of it, and I really, really wanted to get one. Like I said, it definitely has that, mid to late 2000s feel of the, sort of like flip phones, if you want to sort of say like that. And I was really excited, and I wanted to definitely get one, until I actually changed my mind. Now, the reason why I did not get one was because I ended up finding out that it was a digital-only PSP, which really put me off, because back then I was definitely very new to a lot of digital services. I think most people were, because the fact that most people just used to going down to a retail store or a game store and buying games. That's just what people did. And I think the unique aspect of having a digital-only console, even if it was a different version of that same console, was very... I just didn't like it. I really, really didn't. And to me, I thought it wasn't worth the money. So, yeah. And, yeah, it's definitely interesting when you look at it, especially with the way things are going nowadays with, gaming and stuff. And obviously, for both Sony and Microsoft, they are making two versions of their next-gen console. Obviously, the PS5 has two models, one with a disc drive and one that's digital only. And the Xbox Series has the S and the X. Obviously, the X is like the high-end next-gen model, and the S is the lower power next-gen... sorry, it's the low power cheaper version of the next-gen console, but also has no disc drive. So it sort of makes people think that. So, yeah. So... sorry, I'll be back in a minute, sorry. I'm back, so I just went to wipe my face. I'm getting quite warm, sorry about that. But, yeah, it's interesting though when you look at the newest stuff that, they're doing two versions. One that has a disc drive and one that's digital only, so it's interesting. But when you look at the PSP Go back in 2009, it was definitely a very early concept. In many ways, it was somewhat ahead of its time, because of the fact that most people were not ready for digital-only console, so they weren't. That's why when you think about with the PSP, a lot of people went with the model with the disc drive, because obviously you could buy a bunch of UMDs, for cheap and stuff, whether it's games or films, and put them in, and you play straight away. Whereas this doesn't have that, so it doesn't. And that's what made it quite difficult to buy back then, if you want to sort of see it as an upgrade. That's why most people went with a PSP, with a UMD drive, over a PSP Go. Because in many ways, you were losing features. Obviously, backwards compatibility was a big thing. Obviously, you couldn't play your existing games that were on this. So that made it quite difficult. So, for example, if you bought all your games physically, you couldn't bring those over to this, and that's what made it difficult. Now, digital games did transfer over easily, so they did, but physical games made it quite difficult. One thing Sony did plan to do was a somewhat transfer program, where there was plans for Sony to have a program where you would, I think correctly, where you would send your UMD games and everything to Sony, and they would transfer them into a digital file where you could download them on this. Obviously, that never happened, so it became a little bit difficult for people to buy buy the PSP Go. So yeah, it just put people off, you know, back then and stuff. And also another thing was, not every PSP game was released digitally. So for example, there were many different games released on UMD for PSP, but they did not get released digitally on PSP Go. So that again, that made it quite difficult as well. But pardon me. But an interesting little handheld, easily. It really, really is. And I feel like a lot of people are somewhat liking it, I think, because of the fact that a lot of people are used to digital media nowadays. So they are. And they, you know, buy it and stuff. So just how it goes and stuff. So obviously I did buy one, you know, last month and stuff, because I was curious. I wanted to somewhat try out and stuff. And I really liked it. I really, really did. Like I said, when I first held it, it took me a bit of time to get used to. It really, really did, because it just felt weird. But once I got used to it, it felt nice in the hands. It really, really did. So obviously it's nice to play some PSP games and PS1 classics on here as well. So that's a good thing. But definitely very little interesting handheld. An interesting version of the PSP, if you want to sort of say. And it's interesting because Sony did discontinue this in 2011, which was the same year the Vita was coming out. So they quickly just sort of got rid of it because it didn't obviously sell well and stuff. And I remember back in 2010, there was a deal going on in game where you could buy it for £170 with 10 games included. So, like, somewhat what Nintendo did with the Ambassador program for the 3DS. Somewhat similar, but obviously a little bit different and stuff, but that's what they did and stuff. But obviously, it didn't sell well. So like I said, it came out during a time when, you know, digital media was very, very new at the time. And a lot of people were not ready to, you know, go all in to purchase a handheld that was digital only. That really, really put them off. But I feel like more people are starting to like this now, you know what I mean? So it's a pretty cool version of the PSP. And it definitely shows you how much technology has moved on since, you know, 2009 with the PSP Go. Because obviously we've got the Xbox One S coming out. Well, it's already out today, sorry. And obviously we've got the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition coming out. So it sort of shows you. As well as the Series X and the main PS5 model. So, yeah. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked my review of the PSP Go. Hope you look forward to my next videos. Obviously Alex will be back on Friday and I will be back on Saturday. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye.